Welcome to Bristol International Airport. We're going to be taking a flight today in the Carenado Cessna 208B Grand Caravan, and we're going to be going to Southampton. Weather is clear, there's no wind, so hopefully it's going to be a pretty straightforward flight. This is custom scenery. I think it's Pilot Plus, I'm not quite sure. But we're going to go to Orbex Southampton, and of course we're using Orbex True Earth. In this case it's GB South. So let's start getting the aircraft ready. So the parking brake is set, and yoke back on. Be moving between two views. This is the static view, this is the track IR view. I'll just disable the track IR view whenever I need to look at the second monitor. So switches are off, we know that by default. Switches are off, you can see that. Ignition, of course we have world traffic in operation, so ignition is normal. Fuel tank selectors are both on, as you can see. Bleed air heat is off, and cabin heat mixing air control is in the flight position. Emergency power lever is normal. Power lever is normal. That's not actually moving with my controller, which hopefully is not going to be an issue. Prop controls, maximum position, and condition lever is in fuel cutoff. Fuel shutoff is on, and we'll turn the battery on. I can see it. I think I may need to actually move the default position forward a little bit because everything's so small at that in that position, so maybe a little bit too far back. Wing flaps are up. I'll turn the cabin signs on. Zoom in here. I'm not quite sure what the different positions are on the cabin sign switch. Annunciator panel, we're fine in the day position, and that concludes before starting engine. So starting engine, just get into the close-in view. Volts are fine, 24 volts minimum, and fuel boost, no, actually want it forward. Fuel boost on. So let's close-in view. Fuel boost pump is on. The annunciator is on. Fuel pressure low. Annunciator is off. NG is stable. Oh, actually, skipping ahead a little bit there. We have no fuel flow. So if I can see the view, there you go. So no fuel flow. And starter, this is way too far back. Anyway, started, and we have ignition on. Annunciator, engine oil pressure, we have indication, and NG is stable. We've got it where we need it to be, 12% minimum. So fuel condition lever to the low idle position. Fuel flow, we do have fuel flow. ITT is back in the green. and NG is 52% minimum. So at this point, using the hand icon, turn off the starter. Engine instruments check. All looks reasonable. Generator off, annunciator is off, and fuel boost back to normal. So auxiliary fuel pump on, annunciator is off, avionics on, actually nav and beacon on. Suction gauge is good. Cabin heating, ventilating and defrosting controls as desired. I'm not going to put any time into those because it is a Carenado aircraft, so I'll just assume it's working as planned. Radios as required. Really going to be using the radios, not going to be dealing with ATC today. Now we are going to, actually we need to set up the flight plan. What we'll do is we will delete the flight plan, set our destination, accept, and select our departure, which will be right at the bottom, Water 1 Zulu. So that's going to take us north. We're actually going to be going kind of east, southeast. So we go north, east, then south. Taking off from runway 09. And for the arrival, Sam 1 Foxtrot. And we'll also set up the approach, which will be ILS 20. That won't activate it just yet. So that looks good. Keep it on here so we have the ground speed displayed. Switch to GPS. Okay, if we look at our plan, I'll put the plan up on Dropbox as a zip so you can follow that. We're going to be taking off on runway 9. It has noise abatement procedures. We have to climb straight ahead to IBON 4.7 nautical miles DME, and we're looking at 110.15 for that. or 0.15. Just wondering how we're going to get the DME out. That's the question. Wouldn't be an issue if we had a 530. I don't think we have DME on this. Let me look at that noise abatement procedure again. This is no lower than 3,000 feet, but we're going to be saying, well, yeah, we'll just climb to 3,000. That looks like the only solution. Again, that tends to be an issue with certain aircraft. Actually finding DME when you don't have a 530 and there's no dedicated DME unit. We'll just have to figure that out as we go along. So we'll be taking off, runway heading, just make sure we have this set. So we'll be taking off 090, climbing to 3,000 feet. I think we have everything. We're going to be going up to 12,000 feet. Just set. Let's take that up to 700. Hopefully that's going to work as planned. We'll see how that goes. Let's just... the first challenge we've got is actually going to be finding the runway. We're looking for taxiway Zulu and then on to Golf. So we'll see how this goes. I keep getting that blue screen as I go back into the seat. So in fact, let's do a little bit of on the spot fixing using X camera. Okay, let's see that. Well, it's not ideal, but let's see how that feels. So let's get going to runway 09. If we can get the aircraft to unstick, parking brake is released. Let's get that powered down a little bit now we've actually started moving. So we can dodge all these scenery objects. Plenty of clearance there. Seems to be pulling left. Not sure why that would be. Unfortunately for world traffic, there's no taxi network set up for Bristol, so I really do wish scenery makers, why did we get a stutter there? I really do wish scenery makers would take the time to do that. Looks like we're going that way. Fair distance to cover to get down to 09. Bring the power up a little bit. In fact, I don't think this is Pilot Plus. I can't remember who it is. Maybe I might just be misremembering. A little bit more power in. Get the ground speed up. bit slow at 4 knots. A little bit left. It's just a real shame that so many scenery developers don't add support for world traffic. But that's one of the issues that they're always explained, that see, it gets aircraft on the runway but not taxiing. Everything's kind of modular with explain. If you look at FSX, out of the box you had a decent ATC, obviously it had its own issues, but a decent ATC, reasonable weather, I think, dynamic, straight out of the box, and obviously explain also has that. With I mean, you could add to it, you could expand it, but it had everything pretty much there out of the box. But with explain, everything's created by different people, and getting everybody to talk to each other and actually get the stuff to communicate is really difficult. If you look at world traffic, when the last version was released, the idea was that it would integrate with Pilot to ATC, I think also 124th ATC, and I don't think it's done anything with either, which is a shame. And that is the problem, everything's so scattered. Now you have these different weather packages that are being released. You've got Active Sky releasing, which is obviously very welcome, but you have developers having to support all sorts of different things. Is there going to be an Active Sky SDK? Well, then you have developers looking at not just Xenviro SDK but also the Active Sky SDK, and it all becomes really, really complicated and a bit of a pain to manage. Obviously it's good to have more people coming to the platform, but the downside, as I said, is lots of different tools that are competing for developers' attention. Add a bit more power, taxi a little bit more quickly. It shouldn't actually be a very long flight. Should be about an hour, I think, if memory serves. One thing I would love to see and explain would be calculation of fuel actually built into the sim. And obviously Laminar couldn't do that themselves because they're not responsible for all the aircraft that are added to explain. But it would certainly make life a lot easier just to have a simple tool that will give you the fuel loads required for a particular flight built into the sim rather than having to look for it. There are certain tools around that cover a lot of aircraft, but if you're dealing with an aircraft that's not mainstream, that's more obscure, then you're going to run into issues. See, this is a long taxi down to 09. I'll also say that I'm kind of avoiding Orbex airports at the moment, apart from Southampton, which we are going to. But I wouldn't take off from an Orbex airport at the moment because there's an issue with 11.3 with the taxiways. Aircraft coming into land here, which hopefully Orbex or Laminar or both of them are going to resolve fairly quickly. I'd like to use Shoreham, but it's just not possible to take off from there. Oh well, it's possible, it's just a nightmare to taxi. If you have Shoreham, you'll understand what I mean by that. In fact, if you try to land on the first version of 11.3, you'll also understand what I mean, because the aircraft just needs a ton of power. Is this the whole short point, or is it before the whole short point? I think it might be the whole short. Can't quite make it out yet. I think it is. Let's just slow it up. Slow it up. If it isn't the whole short point, it is now. Parking brake on. Okay, well, didn't check the brakes. Flight instruments look good. Before takeoff, parking brake is set. Flight controls are free and correct. Flight instruments look good. Check and set. Is there anything I'm missing here? There usually is. But I think we've got everything. Navigation is set. Autopilot, as we can do it so far, is set. Can I set heading? Nah, it's just going to cancel out. I like to pre-select heading, but I don't think that's going to work. Fuel boost is still normal. Fuel tank selectors are still on. Quantity is fine. Fuel quantity anyway is fine. Fuel shut off is still on. Elevator, that's a good point. Let's get that set for takeoff. No flaps on this takeoff. I actually took off with absolute 100% power and 10 degrees of flaps previously, and it just went up like an absolute rocket. So careful with power and careful with flaps. Power lever is idle. Pitot static heat, we don't need that. Let's just double check. Let's zoom into that. Yeah, we're fine. On temperature. Ice protection is required. Avionics check and set. Unless I'm missing something. We got the well, we got this, which absolutely seems to. Can I get it to work? Is it going to go any further than that? It has decided to stay. For one reason or another, it won't move. Oh, yeah, now I've got it to move. Interesting. Can only turn a certain amount with the scroll wheel, but works okay with clicking it, apparently. GPS nav, check and set. Let's get these strobe on. That's all we need to look at there. Annunciators off or considered. They're all off. Wing flaps set takeoff. We're going with 0 for normal takeoff. Cabin heat mixing still flight. Brakes release conditionally high idle. I'm going to leave that actually until we're getting ready to take off. Yeah, that will do. So assuming we have clearance. Let's get moving. And just slowly picking up speed. Still have a lot of these kind of 2D trees, which are particularly ugly. Gone a bit too fast here. I was previously using Pilot Plus Southampton, which is really nice scenery, just let down really by the trees in particular. Which have this kind of 2D spritey kind of look. I could use that as the whole show. Never mind. Looking good. Let's turn onto the runway a little bit too quick. And here we are at runway 09. I want to get off the runway pretty quick just in case world traffic's going to surprise us with the landing. Okay, let's just line that up. So let's get the get it to high idle. Annunciators check. Let's rotate at 75 knots and 90 knots. Wind flaps up, I'm fine with that. So let's see if I can do this. That is so difficult to read, but hopefully. Let's check heading. Heading is good. And let's go. Just gradually feeding that power. See, there you go, surprised by a spawning aircraft. And take off. A little bit early, but it wanted to go, so just some right rudder just to. No, we don't want to 3,000. Need a bit of practice in taking off in this aircraft. Just get that down a little bit. Maintain 1,000. Too much sightseeing. Still wants to go a little bit quick. Let's see if I can maintain that 1,000. FPM rate of ascent. Wow. And we've got the autopilot on. Let's fly heading. Fly heading. One minute. Big mistake. Why are we flying that way? I'm not at all sure why. I'm not at all sure. That is odd. Am I missing something? Let's just switch to nav. Because that is bizarre. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm not sure why that pitched off to the right. That was a bit odd. So that start didn't go to. I don't know why it pitched off to the right. I'm sure there's a perfectly valid reason for it to do that. I'm just struggling to understand why. Anyway, let me figure out what is going on here. That's on a postcard, but that wasn't. Okay, we're heading in the exact opposite direction. This is not going to plan. Okay, now autopilot is on. Okay, so why are we heading exactly the opposite direction where we should be going? Okay, let's just. Okay. So this is interesting. What cancels on a postcode with this one? Just switch to the next one. Is it gonna turn? Okay, we're slowing right down, so just give it power. You know, sometimes it has a habit, well, sometimes it does this, it lives in a way that just makes no sense. Okay, I'm trying to puzzle this out, what on earth is going on? Okay, now I'm making that sound. Zero the compass, which apparently is what it needed. That's kind of odd. Wouldn't fly runway heading. Okay, well that was an interesting start. That just doesn't make sense to me. Okay, I'm zeroing the compass. I understand that. But why didn't it fly the runway heading? Why was it going the opposite direction? Okay, that's a bit of an odd one. Just... That's working as it should be. Well, just ignore that, just ignore the start, that just didn't happen. That really didn't happen. Why are we going up this, why are we going up at that rate of ascent? Okay, this is turning into a fun... What the heck? Just trying to change to that, okay. It's not going to fix that. Yay, that's just come back. This is a pain to use, this altitude pre-select. I hate using this system. It just never seems to be done right. It just seems odd. Anyway, ignore all that. We are now pretty much doing what we should have done to begin. I really don't understand why it didn't. Why it completely ignored the heading and then flew in the exact opposite direction where it should have been going to. That just seems a bit odd to me. But anyway, it's just one of those things. Note to myself: always zero that compass before taking off, because you never know what it's going to do. Anyway, that said, en route climb and cruise. Nice protection is required. Just check the temperature. Figure out where it is. Okay, so let's get pitot on. Speed, looking at 150 and 125, a bit slow on that. So let's take our lives into our hands, bring the climb down. Where are we on the power? Just add a bit more power to it. Without going into the red. Bring it down. Is this going to work? No. Let's do that again. I just hate using that. I hate using that pre-selector. It is such a pain to use. Because you're pressing the engage button and it will just take whatever the climb rate is at that moment in time, rather than what you've actually selected. So you need to engage it, change the climb rate, engage again. It's an absolute pain to use. And that is, finally get a chance to look at Orbix GB South. Pity we couldn't have spent more time looking at it on the way up, but needs must. Okay, what else are we going to be looking at? Propeller 1600 to 19. We want to be looking about 1800 on the top RPM. So let's just pull the prop back a little bit. For torque. I'll have to leave it about there. We'll come to 12,000. Okay, let's start planning our descent. Give it a stroll. Normally I'll be looking at Purpose. Finally, what's the ground? What's the ground speed? 111. So we're going to get down to 1800 by, let's see. Probably, yeah. Given the fact we don't have ATC, let's use Purpose as our aim point for this. So we need to lose 10,000 feet. So that's we need to start down 30 miles away from Purpose. Ground speed 120, let's say 130. So that will be 1,300. 650, let's say 700 FPM descent. I'll have to recheck this, but 700 FPM descent, 30 miles short of Purpose. I've got a long way to go before we get there. As you can see, I'm a long way, so it'll be like 10 miles away from Kennet. We'll start down, so there's a long way to go before then. So we certainly had an interesting start to this flight. Definitely you have to always remember to zero the compass before you start. That is absolutely, that's one of the basic things to do. I always forget to do it though. In fact, remember to do it every now and then in flight. But the results seem to me to be a little bit crazy, a little bit over the top. Again, regardless, it should be, when the autopilot should be turning onto the heading. Notice actually on this, on descent, it seems to just shoot straight through the altitude on the pre-selector for some reason. be a significant distance away from Southampton, but again we can look at what is really outstanding scenery. I think it is the holy grail of flight simulations, when you can get down low and the scenery is still believable. I mean, up here obviously at 12,000 feet, this is kind of, well, I wouldn't say it's standard for a flight sim, but this is where you would expect it to look good. It's a while since I was at 12,000 feet in FSX, but that looked believable up at altitudes. But with this, even below 500 feet, it's still, you can still see the rough edges of it, but it's still believable, isn't it? It's cool. But when you get down to about 2,000 feet, 1,000 feet, it's really, you spend your time really looking at landmarks, looking at individual buildings, just exploring it as you fly over, which is like what you'd really do if you were actually in the aircraft itself, over the real world landscape. Airspeed is about what you would like it to be. I don't have an awful lot of experience in this aircraft, so it's that flap lever. How the heck did that flap lever get down? What the heck happened with that flap lever? No wonder we were going so slowly. How did that flap lever get to that position? This is quickly turning into a bit of a disaster movie. How on earth did that flap lever get to be in that position? That is crazy. Well, this is fast turning into a flight of do not do it this way. I don't understand how that flap lever got in that position. I really don't. That's me baffled. Absolutely baffled. Let's turn this cabin lights off. That is baffling. How on earth? I really don't get. That's odd. Anyway, there you go. Spot the deliberate mistake. I'll have to check that later. Did I miss that, or did it mysteriously turn on by itself? Get some stutters here. Honestly, don't know where the stutters are coming from. This is quickly turning into a slideshow. We have pretty much everything thrown at us in this flight so far, including the slideshow. Not sure where those terrible frame rates came from there. Yeah, this is turning out to be pretty much a complete nightmare. But at least it's entertaining. And that's one word for it. That is definitely one word for it. So we've had shenanigans with the autopilot, we've had mysteriously deployed flaps, slideshow. I'm not quite sure what we've got left to come, but I'm sure there's something else around the corner. Probably 20.5 from Kennett. Anyway, just ignore all those disasters. Just pretend this has been an absolute model flight with 0 incidents. Let's get all the issues out in one flight and never repeat them again, hopefully. But yeah, I was talking about the scenery and how great it was. And it is absolutely spectacular. We're just doing a test flight around 1,000 feet, just passing over buildings. But I would say if you're interested in Orbex True Earth, you have to bear in mind that it takes up a lot of disk space. OFO in general takes a significant amount of disk space. If you have South and Central installed, you're talking about close to 200 gigs. Now you can put it on a HD with a symbolic link. That is pretty much the standard way of doing it. I really think that Orbex should have that built into the installer. There are, I would imagine, very few people are going to be able to install on an SSD, even just GB, never mind Europe and North America. It's coming to 20 miles from Kennett. I was thinking, whilst it's going to go around, what terrible mistakes have I made? But if you can find a space, it is well worth it. Looking at your settings, I would suggest that you really need to be on HDR render settings in general, not just for Orbex True Earth, but just in general. Otherwise you get some really odd effects like banding on the sun and probably the moon. Really odd lighting effects. So HDR is pretty much the minimum anyway. But you also need at least high world objects, preferably maximum world objects, which is what you're seeing now. Now when I have been having stutters with the sim. I actually turned the world detail down, but in the end what seems to have fixed it, hopefully, putting aside the stutters that we've seen so far, what I did was reduce texture quality, or texture compression, down from I think it's maximum down to highest. It's down from it's from uncompressed to maximum compressed, or it's the second highest setting, or whatever it's called. I have a 1070 card, so it's plenty of memory on it, but I assumed that it could cope with uncompressed textures, but apparently that's not the case. Coming up to the start of the descent. So that was the fix for me. Hopefully that's cured stutters. Frame rate's currently 27, 26, which is perfectly fine. As long as it doesn't drop below 20, that's when you have real issues with it. Certain times I'm getting 45, or well, in the 30s up to 45. Quite happy at 25 with these settings, as long as it doesn't stutter. Again, you don't want it dropping below 20, and you certainly don't want the stutters. quite happy with this. Obviously you'd like 60 frames per second, that would be ideal, but you're going to either need a very powerful computer to do that, or you're going to be willing to turn down details, and there comes a point when you're kind of defeating yourself anyway. We're almost at the point to start the descent. Let's just check if I can hit the 180 knots. So let's say let's go down at 1000 FPM. Yeah, we'll descend about 1000 FPM just to be sure, so that we're not too high. The approach is going to be a little bit unusual because we're going to go towards Southampton and we're going to loop back. Took me by surprise the first time I did it. Descent started. Using this rather fun altitude pre-selector. Let's back off the power. Which should be okay. Really, I'm going to have to learn the route so I know exactly what we're passing over. Descent, max potential is required, to meet. Is it still required? Yeah, absolutely is. Don't need to worry too much about it because it's a Carenado aircraft. Speed looks good. Let's get the cabin signs back on. Altimeter 2992. Set, power as required, and that's pretty much it for what we need to do at this moment in time. Keep an eye on the airspeed, it's reasonable, and we'll get to see a little bit more detail on the ground. On this rather eventful flight. Start to get to see a little bit of road traffic. The great thing about using max world objects is that you get to see a lot more road traffic. I would like to see the road traffic move at different speeds. They all seem to go at the exact same speed. Obviously that creates potential issues, but you know, they should be able to work around that. That would make it a little bit more believable. The speed is still good. The descent is still good. I'm actually looking forward to getting X-Enviro back on the system. I actually uninstalled everything. Looks like 1.1 is going to be a really interesting update. Obviously one of the talking points about it is that it looks like it's going to include snow, with seasons falling later. That would be really interesting. Its environment gets a lot of criticism, really down to the fact that it's so expensive. Hopefully, now that X-Plane is starting to settle down, the X-Enviro team can get on top of the expectations really for this software. It's going to live up to all our expectations. Again, this one's okay, this one's good. It's 25 miles to 23 miles to purpose. Plenty of time to get that to 2,000. To know what happened with that flaps. Did I just absolutely miss that it was in a down position? It should be up and starting the aircraft. Maybe it's just being a little bit sneaky with me. It's in an aircraft for a while. Frames are holding up about 27, 25, 23, 20, 23, 25, 23. Only downside to having scenery on a HD rather than SSD is obviously load times. And that does seem to slow things down a bit. I've noticed when looking at Task Manager, CPU is about 50%, GPU about 85%, memory is about 75% of 16 gigs, so it's interesting. There seems to be so much space for CPU. The stutter seems to be when CPU maxes out at 100%. Just double check. Is now 150, so 750. We'll stick with 1,000. Just because I don't like messing around with the altitude pre-selector. Just got to be careful that it doesn't just go straight through. I hate using this. Didn't arm it. Don't like that altitude pre-selector at all. Just get so many unexpected consequences of hitting the buttons. Get a little bit wary of hitting the buttons after a while. Feet. Coming to purpose. 16 miles. So we've got plenty of time to get down to 2,000. So finally we get to see a little bit of road traffic. Part of the reason that True Earth does look so good is because it gets the trees right. Often you will see, when you're looking at awful, just basic awful scenery, you will have kind of painted on trees, but there will be very little auto engineering. Having properly placed trees does make a lot of difference leaning back into the seat. unbelievable. Good awful is great in itself, but when you have autogen that makes real sense and there's a minimum of painted on scenery, it makes a huge difference. So where are we? It's 12.5 miles from Peppers. And closing on 2,000 feet, which is pretty much the target altitude. I'm going to be down to 1,800. A little later on. Just make sure that we're going to stick on 2,000. I think maybe we want to pass through it before that, or when I've passed through the altitude before, I think I must have overlooked arming the pre-selector. So hopefully it's going to stay at 2,000 and we're not going to drop any lower than that. Road traffic here in this part of the world. Now coming up to 2,000, hopefully it's going to hold there. There you go. Thankfully it's more than 2,000 feet. Let's just add power. Speed. So that takes us here before landing. Fuel tank selectors both on. Power control lever will go to maximum. Autopilot will be off. Wing flaps will be down to 30. Flaps 30. Below 125 knots. So the main thing will be prop control lever maximum full forward, and we're looking at flaps 10 speed below 175 knots, which is fine for. This is more of an interesting altitude. It's always fun when you see some sort of vehicle just on its own going down the road. Now we'll go a little bit more traffic there. Okay, so let's get on top of this. Okay, when we get Peppers, we will activate the approach. Then it will start to get a little bit more busy. I say this has been a learning experience again. I think every time I use the altitude pre-selector I get reminded of exactly how I'm supposed to use it. So 4 miles away from Peppers. So temperature now, finding control. And then we'll find pitot heat off. Activate the approach. This is 0 the compass. Let's see. to that tail. We're going to go on a bit of a loop. Let's just pull the power down. A bit, some about 140 knots. Should be about it. Some odd auto-gen in the woods. Not quite sure about that. So again, we're just going to follow the track that we're on and then come around. I'm not going to slow it down too much, but once we start getting up to those turns, I'll to bring the airspeed down to about 120. Probably just pull down 10 degrees of flaps in order to slow it down. It all seems to kind of move along at the same sort of pace. Just make it that little bit more believable to have different speeds. I think I have everything covered in this crazy flight. Do before landing is props forward and really just start bringing in the flaps, slowing the aircraft down. So Southampton Airport is just somewhere in front of us. Where we are right there in the centre. Quite a tight turn, so pretty soon I'll start feeding in the flaps just to get us slowed down. 100, 120, as those are tight turns. And it's very easy to miss those turns and then mess up your navigation. Particularly want to have to hand fly it. I'm going to spend some time admiring the scenery. It's a little bit more road traffic. Is that road or rail? It's road. Point, flaps 10 below 175, we are below 175, it's just adding 10 degrees of flaps, slow the aircraft down, just add a little bit of a power drop as well, we're getting down a bit below, it's 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. Should get us down to about where I want us to be, which is about 100 knots. So it's a quite tight turn we're coming up to. Southampton ahead. It's the first time you do this flight. If you're not really on top of the approach, you might think, what has gone wrong, that I should be landing there now. Well, no, that's not how this approach works. Just admire the detail as we get ready to what's the airspeed? Yeah, about 100 knots. Because of the severity of the turn, I'm quite happy with that. Back into the seat. Decent on the road traffic again. And again, this is Orbit's Southampton, which is a little bit different to the Pilot Plus Southampton. They've lost the balloon, which is a good thing. Turn shortly. Flaps 30 below 150, so 5 for all flap settings. Speed is good. Altitude for now is good. Just leave it at 2004. So is that working? Yes, that's working. Finally got that right. Get down to 1800 feet. Really stuttery again. Interesting facility. Again, you're kind of just noting little landmarks, which is really nice. Just scroll this down a little bit. The challenge will be to see the glide slope, because it's really difficult to see anything on this control actually. Let's flip around those. 0.75, that's the ILS. Just as well remembered that. That could have been the last age mistake. So our descent with full flaps is going to be 75.5 knots, touchdown manuals first, and beta range after touchdown. That is the plan. That is the plan. Hopefully this will all go to plan. Might be the first thing in this entire flight that's gone to plan. I will be quite content with just an acceptable landing, even vaguely close to the centre line at this point. Add ATC into it, that's going to add another level of complexity. At some point I'll get into pilot to ATC. It's just I have a lot that I've been dealing with recently with this, so that is not my top priority at this moment in time. currently busy doing crazy flights like this, which do not go according to plan at all. I'm totally new, well, pretty much totally new to this aircraft, so a lot of power settings are a bit of a mystery to me, so I'm figuring it out as I go along. Come up to it's left turn. Well, that is a busy road. That is nice to see. Yeah, just coming to the turn. Airspeed is perfectly fine for now. Just soon I'll start to feed in more flaps. Trying to watch out always for glide slope when we head south again. It's so difficult to read these instruments, they're so tiny. Absolutely tiny. So it's all looking good. I'll remember to do so and stick the landing lights on. Maybe a bit premature, but still. Out of this turn, just switch the around to T0. That's it. Interesting little tracks across the fields. Going on there? Okay, this does not look right. I told you this was always going to go. That is bizarre. That is really bizarre. That is absolutely bizarre. It's done that to me again. Honestly, this thing is out to get me, it really is. What are we heading towards? This is absolutely out to get me today. Let's get flaps all the way down. And we're going to get glide slope. And we're going to get glide slope. And we're going to get glide slope. It doesn't look like I am. So let's just descend. This has been one heck of a flight, hasn't it? I think you'll agree this has been one heck of a flight. I'm a bit baffled by that one. So we've had some fun and games, and I think you'll very much agree. Let's flip to the static view. Fun and games on this flight. If it could go wrong, it certainly has gone wrong. I don't know why it made that last turn the way it did, but it did. So yeah. This is the flight that where everything that could go wrong went wrong. A bit fast, but then we are descending really quickly. Even how badly this thing has gone. So I can't see a glide slope. I didn't have the chance to put it on approach mode, for one thing. Because there was no way that was going to work. Okay, let's be careful with the airspeed. See if we can rescue a decent landing out of this bizarre flight. Just airspeed's dropping a little too much. I can just salvage this landing. It looks like I've got 2 whites, 2 reds. Feet per minute descent. Let me just see if I can get it lined up. The train passes underneath. Lined up. Prop full forward. Too slow. Drifting a bit left. Plenty of runway, which is just as well. Decent landing actually myself. Be careful with this because it tends to kick to the right pretty heavily. Satisfactory, that should be enough. Condition lever back to where I think is ground idle. Yeah, that's reasonable. Ground idle. So yeah, that was. I'll have to give my thoughts on that in a second. Slow it down a little bit more. All of a sudden the rudder just kicks in after giving me 0 control. I think that's just a controller issue. So strobes off. There you go, taxi light on eventually. So got a 7.1 ground speed. Okay, after landing, wing flaps up, ice protection off, strobes off, landing and taxi lights as required, fuel condition lever low idle. actually perfect, I think, which is kind of surprising. Okay, and now we're just taxiing to shutdown. So yeah, that was a fascinating flight, I'm sure you will agree. Every time I thought there was nothing else can go wrong, something else went wrong. Don't know why it performed that last turn the way it did. I don't know how that got as messed up as it did. Normally I would say that would have been a speed issue, but I can't even put it down to speed. Maybe I should have gone flaps 20 just prior to it, but did a tighter turn than that with flaps 10, so I'm not at all sure what happened there. Very interesting flight, I'm sure you'll agree. It's kind of the blueprint for how flight should not go. So yeah, this is Orbeck, Southampton. Actually the taxiways are pretty good. I haven't gone around this in a Cessna, that's a benchmark for me. If I'm using 1500 RPM on a Cessna 172 to get it moving, then something is badly wrong. But this seems okay. Unless something else is going to go wrong out of the blue. One thing I wish Orbex would do would be to include turning off parked aircraft in the control panel. That is what we have world traffic for. But I like the art style, the way the textures just look really nice. Just has a really good look and feel to it. Going speed is what, 13.3? Slow it down, we're going a bit too quick for these turns. Let's take the next turn. Let's find an empty spot, or we'll make an empty spot, one way or the other. Let's just get it slowed down a little bit more. See, kicking a lot of rudder. Suddenly, the power of the turn just kicks in. It's got to be a controller issue. Okay, zeroed the power. Let's just see if I can judge this remotely correctly. We've got no one to guide us in. Gonna have to hope for the best. And I think that will do. Right there. Parking brake. Hopefully that is vaguely close to where we need to be. Okay, let's take a look at shutdown, which is parking brake set, avionics off, fuel boost off, get the down arrow, bleed air off. I actually didn't turn it on. Power lever idle, yep. ITTS stabilised, I would hope so. Prop control lever further. Fuel condition lever cut off. Lighting. Seems to have three positions sometimes, then two other times. Battery off. And fuel tank selectors, let's turn the left one off. So there we have it. That was an incident fueled flight. If you came here looking for a really dull, simple, easy flight, then you are sadly mistaken. That's not how we do things around here. Issues all the way through that. Some I can see where maybe I've made mistakes, but I just don't understand the last one. Or not following the heading bug. anyway, I shall endeavour to learn from that experience. I hope you enjoyed that. It's been a bit of an adventure over 2 pay-away airports, over pay-away scenery, and in a very interesting aircraft. It's not all that complicated. It's a pretty simple aircraft to fly, not a great deal of complexity to it. For that reason, it's a good fun aircraft. It's not study level, so you don't have to agonise too much over how you're flying it. Just a great aircraft and an interesting route to fly. As I mentioned earlier, I will put up the charts that I used to plan the flight with, and you can, if you so choose, follow the same route that I did. So hope you enjoyed that, and as always, feel free to like, comment and subscribe.